Hello everyone, Bob Believers around the world. So this is a very important video that I have to do. Now, it's easy to forget about the hardships that many Hamites go through when coming into this covenant with the Most High Yah and walking the straight and narrow path of righteousness with Yah. Because it's easy to forget, what the false doctrines about the Hamites and the hate they receive from the One West campers because of the big One West doctrines. Esau's the white devil who can't be saved, and the Asians are the Moab devil who they can't even come into the congregation. They're, born to hellfire and destruction and all those type of foolish doctrines, all that falsehood. It's easy to forget the hatred that a lot of One West Camp Israelites have for Ham. And I'm just going to talk about this because it's very important to mention. And I'm just going to be talking about some of the righteous Hamites in the Bible. And also I'm going to be exposing the hypocrisy of the people who carry this hatred, because a lot of these One West Camp Israelites, when their One West Camp doctrine comes under fire and is starting to get disproved by the scripture, they like to use cards like Uncle Tom and self-hatred, Oreo, and all that type of stuff, because you're not in these false hating Gentile doctrines. Now, let's start off with Uriah the Hittite. Now, the Hittites were Africans. The Hittites were descendants of Ham. Now, Uriah lived in David's kingdom, and he was married to an Israelite woman. People don't really key in on that, but the fact was, before the incident happened between David and Bathsheba, Bathsheba was originally married to a Hittite who was Uriah. Now, I already mentioned that the Hittites come from Ham, and Uriah was David's right-hand man. Him and David were close. He was loyal unto David. And clearly he was a lawkeeper, because not only was he married unto an Israelite woman, but he was living in David's kingdom, and David had him in a high position of authority. So why would David have a lawless, Molech worshiping African high up in his military living in his kingdom and married unto an Israelite woman? So already right there, we have an issue with this doctrine, because one of the famous righteous people in the Bible was a Hamite. Now we can keep going. Now I'm going to talk about where it gets really hypocritical, which is hating the descendants of Ham. You're really hating half of your DNA, because Ephraim and Manasseh had an Egyptian mother, and Egyptians are Africans from Ham. So when you're all fired up and you have hatred for Hamites, you're really hating half of yourself, because us Israelites have Hamite DNA running through us. And it doesn't just stop at Ephraim and Manasseh, because Christ, the Messiah, had a Hamite in his lineage, Rahab the Canaanite. So when you look into that, the Messiah has Hamite DNA in his lineage. Ephraim and Manasseh had an African mom. So when you start to look at it, it starts to expose the hypocrisy of this way of thinking. Because now you view the Messiah as evil because he has Hamite DNA. And now you either hate your brothers and sisters in Israel, or you hate yourself, depending on if you're Ephraim or Manasseh or not, because of the Hamite blood. We can go even further back. Hagar was a Hamite. Now, obviously, Hagar was not responsible for helping establish the 12 tribes of Israel, like with the Ephraim and Manasseh situation. But the fact of the matter was, she was a Hamite who was married to Abraham. And Abraham is like one of the patriarchs of the scripture. So Abraham having a Hamite in his house, now you're going to look down on Abraham because of that. And then we have Moses' situation. Moses married an Ethiopian woman who was, guess what? An African, a Hamite. And I felt like this is very important to cover, because there's actually a lot of Hamites who are coming into this truth and who are keeping the law and trying to come into this covenant with Israel. And there's roadblocks at these One West camps hating on Ham, which is wrong. You can see it throughout all of the Torah that the Most High Yah did not hate the Hamites as a race. He hated the wickedness that a lot of the Hamites were committing. Like when you look into when he said, don't marry the Canaanites, people be like, see, because Africans are evil and they're just, their blood is just pure evil. And, we weren't even allowed to marry them because they were just so, just demonically possessed and all that. And when you actually read in context, the Most High Yah tells us why we were not supposed to be dealing with the Canaanites. And that is because they worship other gods, idols, demons, falsehood, and that they will turn you away from serving Yah. That is why. And we know that is why, because if it was about that the Hamites are some type of weird Nephilim type of thing and that they couldn't be saved, we wouldn't have Uriah the Hittite. We wouldn't have Hagar. We wouldn't have Joseph's wife with the Ephraim and Manasseh situation. We wouldn't have Rahab the Canaanite. I mean, Rahab was a Hamite who literally saved Israelite spies by hiding them at her place. I mean, she could have easily had those Israelites destroyed and refused to hide them, and they would have got caught and would have been a very ugly situation. But the fact of the matter was, she didn't do that. And just talking about other nations, I mean, in the book of Judith, we have an Ammonite who was circumcised and added unto the house of Israel. And then we have Ruth, which I have to do something like that about that. People try and make Ruth an Israelite, but we have a Moabite being accepted among the children of Israel too. So is it about the actions of wickedness, or is it about their bloodline? And then we can go into Esau. Job was an Edomite, and he was a righteous man. He was loved by Yah. He was a blessed man, and he was a descendant of Esau. So it's like, that's the whole point in the scriptures. It's like, nobody is doomed to hellfire and destruction because of the blood that runs through their veins. Because you look at Ham, and it's like, yeah, you had Nimrod and Canaanite activity and all that other type of stuff. But for every one of those, you had a Rahab, you had a Uriah the Hittite, then people, you'd be like Esau, yeah. But then you have, you have Job, and then you the Moabites and how the Moabites tried to curse the Israelites. But then you have Ruth, and then you have the Ammonites, and then you have the Ammonite in the book of Judith. So it's like, no one is losing their salvation based on their nationality. And when you read the book of Isaiah, the Most High Yah already said that his house of prayer shall be called a house of prayer for all people, and the innumerable multitude in the book of Revelation. So no one talks about that. And I just want to cover this because, as mentioned in the past, I've had a lot of experiences with the One West campers, people who teach One West camp doctrine, people who follow it, the whole 9 yards. And I have to admit that I was caught up in this hatred of Ham in the past. And I didn't really realize that it was still a problem until the Most High Yah shined it on me that this is a problem. And this hatred spirit for Hamites is no better than the fake Esau's, the white man stuff, and the Moab stuff. I was already, the Most High Yah had enlightened me about all that stuff in the past, but I was still having this issue with Ham, and it's not right. I remember back in the day dealing with One West campers and how on lunch break or whatever, dudes would just be making fun of Ham, saying terrible stuff about Hamite women, and it was like unprovoked. Obviously, like, you shouldn't be saying nothing like this, but we'll just be at the Carl's Jr. just eating our burgers and our chicken tenders and just joking about Hamite women for some reason, like calling them names and saying all types of horrible stuff and making fun of the men's accents. One West campers, and it ain't right. It took the Most High Yah to open my eyes to really see it, because the Esau stuff and the Moab stuff is so bad. It really blinds you to see the suffering that other nations who want to cleave to Israel are having. Because you see the Esau stuff and you see the Moab stuff, and it makes you not really think about anything else. But then you realize what's going on with Ham. And then there's a lot of bitterness where we find out that we've been lied to as a people, and that we are not descendants of Ham, and that we are Shemitic, And we've been told that we are Hamitic our entire lives. And then there's like a hatred, bitterness towards anything Ham because we're mad that we've been deceived for so long. But that's not right. That's not right. And like I already mentioned, a lot of us have Hamite DNA in us right now. So everyone, these one Westers like to pull the self-hatred card, but you hating on the sons and daughters of Ham, you got some extreme self-hatred. I mean, you hate the Messiah because the Messiah comes from a lineage with a Hamite in it. So this is a wicked doctrine and must be casted out. I've seen multiple Hamites, coming into this walk, keeping the law, looking to get to know Yah. And they get greeted by this. It's the same issue with the sons and daughters of Japhet, coming in, and they're looking to be taught and they're looking to learn, and the response they get is, Esau, Edomite devil. Same thing with the Asians. Oh, you're Moab, get out of here. So we got to stop this. We are called to be the light unto the Gentiles, unto the other nations. I got a lot of stuff to do. I've never done 2 Bible study series at the exact same time, but I clearly need to make a video about Ham's, the sons and daughters of Ham's contribution to the children of Israel, because a lot of Israelites are ignorant to the fact that they were holy, law-abiding Hamite citizens among the Israelites, and that they actually not only were law-abiding citizens keeping the law, but some of them actually helped establish the 12 tribes of Israel, and that multiple of the Israelite tribes have Hamite DNA from those people who helped establish the nation of Israel. I clearly need to make a series about that. And I've never made 2 series at the exact same time, but it's something that's very important that needs to be spoken of. And, my eyes were closed about this for a long time. Like I said, the jokes, it's bad. It's bad. Hope this video helped some people. Hopefully some sons and daughters, descendants of Ham, will come and see this, and that this will help them, be some motivation for them on their walk. But this is something that is not cool and something that we shouldn't be dealing with. Like, this hatred for everything Ham is not right. And a lot of Israelites, because of the One West camps, like to focus on the bad of everybody, where they'll constantly teach you in the One West camps about Pharaoh chasing us down to the Red Sea. That's all stuff we need to know. They'll tell us about Nimrod, until the cows come home, but they wouldn't dare tell you that Ephraim and Manasseh had an African mom. They wouldn't dare go there, because that destroys multiple of their doctrines. It destroys their "it was illegal to marry a woman of another nation" doctrine. Kills that. It also kills their anti-Ham doctrine, because now the Israelites are half Ham, and the relationship, so that screws up that doctrine as well. And it also screws up their "nobody of another nation can be saved" doctrine, because if somebody is 50% Hebrew and 50% Hamite, I think Geno Jennings actually said this: which part of you is going to hell and which part of you is going into the kingdom? So if you have, like, say, I don't know, you're a child and you're half Japhet and you're half Israelite, is he going to pluck the white part out of you and send it to hell, and then send the last black 50% to the kingdom? That don't make no sense. Anyways, take care. Hope this helped.